Rollerblading. Is there anything cooler? Yes, obviously, many things are cooler. But coolness isn't what we're about here at WOAF. This week, we are debuting a fan-composed hobby collector's theme song that blows our stupid fucking song out of the water, and teaching you how to get started with rollerblading and longboarding. We'll cover what gear you need, how to stay safe, and the importance of knowing when to bail out. Then we are ranting our way through things that make us irrationally angry, while potentially alienating all of our new international listeners along the way. But that's showbiz, baby! And confessing some silly quirks and pizza secrets that just may be the result of our undiagnosed learning disorders. And isn't that just fun? Just like rollerblading, this conversation contains a little bit of danger. So drop Lino and Arvo off at their tap lessons, strap on those elbow pads, and roll your way into this sweaty little episode, you jarts.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather.
This is Weirds of a Feather, an AuDHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Kristen.
And I'm your host, Grace.
And this is our first recording in the new Podloft.
Yep, Podloft 2.0.
Woo! So hopefully it's not echoey, but I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, hopefully it sounds okay. We're recording from the closet.
Yep.
On the floor.
We are snug.
Yeah, it is sweaty in here.
It is warm. I'm glad I wore shorts.
I wish I did, but it's too late now, so I'll just pull my pants up.
You gotta get the biker shorts.
I have biker shorts, but I've been wearing them every day, and I don't have enough pairs. Is the problem?
I just had to get another pair because
where'd you get them?
I think I did TJ Maxx.
Nice,
but Old Navy has good ones. You are a
Maxxinista,
because
through and through.
You know what? They don't have an Old Navy where I live.
I'm not shaming you for being
They
a
have
Maxxinista.
a Kohl's, which now has a Sephora in it, and I'm upset because I spend too much money there. I bought a thing that I found on TikTok because it was a TikTok made me buy it, and boy, oh boy, does it work. Can I tell you about it?
Sure, and then let's get going with what we have planned.
Very
because true. We are trying to work on not making our episodes 3 hours long.
That's fine. It's, have you ever seen that thing? It's like a green sunscreen face cream by Dr. Jart. It's a brand.
That's made up.
No, it's Jart. J-A-R-T. But the T is a plus sign like medicine.
I fucking hate it. I hate you, Dr. Jart. Stupid ass name. All right.
That's the brand, like Neutrogena or whatever. That's
Dr.
their
Jart.
So,
who chose that? Who chose that?
I never thought it was funny until now.
You didn't think that was funny,
I
Dr.
was like,
Jart?
oh yeah, Dr. Jart. Well, there's Dr. Bronner's.
Bronner's sounds like a normal word, though. Jart sounds
Dr.
like
Phil.
a painful fart.
It's
like a jagged fart, I think is what I picture. Jart! Ow, I just jarted myself. Anyways, tell me about this Jart face cream.
You haven't seen it. It's all over TikTok.
No.
It's kind of old on TikTok now, but it's this green face cream that's also sunscreen, but it's a color corrector, and you just get a little tiny bit on your fingertip.
Just a dab will do.
A little bit. And you emulsify it in your hands, and then you pat it in, and then you wait a little bit. There's no redness. And I know you don't care about this because you were, born with perfect skin.
No, I wasn't. You always say that.
You got your first pimple at like 18. I was born with pimples. Okay.
But the color is a different thing because I do get kind of redness on my cheeks.
You get like a nice, cute little blush, like as if someone purposely put blush there.
Well, thank you.
I, eat too fast and I get red in the face,
You do eat too fast.
I eat too fast and then I am red. I have very pale skin and I'm like just red. It's not like red undertones. I'm just like always red.
You're not always red.
I'm mostly red.
I'm not going to argue about this with you right now.
It works really well. And it's sunscreen. And I'm obsessed with it.
Well, I would try out this Jart cream, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to bring you in a little bit. And anyway, okay.
Where are we? Podloft.
It's
bike
new
shorts. Oh, it's sweaty in here.
Yeah.
Where are we going? That's right.
Here's the question. How red is my face right now?
It's not red at all. That's what I'm saying.
Testimonial right here.
Yep.
We're not sponsored, but we should be.
Yep. Dr. Jart. Sponsor us.
They'll never sponsor us. We keep making fun of the name.
We'll do a great commercial for you. You'll love it. You'll love the marketing.
We'll relate you to farts.
Yeah. Jagged farts is kind of that marketing angle that I'm going to go for with you, Dr. Jart. I can't even say it. Guys, if you think the word Jart is also funny,
we're going to take a poll.
Please let me know because come on.
We're taking a poll. Your thoughts on Dr. Jart. Also, have you tried this cream and is it amazing?
Yes, tell us.
Okay.
Jart thoughts. All right. Well, with that said,
we should like introduce this episode, right?
Yeah.
Boop boop boop.
Well,
this is a special episode. Kind of. It's just segs.
Yeah, just segs.
Grace has just moved. We have just moved into Podloft, and I am in the process of moving because we do everything together.
Yeah, we gotta. I buy a house, you buy a house.
Yeah.
I moved to the West Coast, you moved to the West Coast.
You move back, I move back.
Yep. And here we are.
I'm following you.
I know you are.
I am also moving, and boy, oh boy, is that stressful.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We kind of gave ourselves a really big task of doing a lot of ADHD research, and then both of us did not do it.
Not a single bit.
It's not happening. It just wasn't going to happen.
Not this week.
Nope. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Who knows? But for now,
we do want to talk about hobbies,
lots
and
of stuff.
Yeah, well, we got lots of stuff to talk about.
This one is emphasis on ADHD-Adjacent. But
yes.
Who was it? Matilda. She described our podcast as not just like about ADHD, but also a good example of ADHD itself. Like the whole flow of our podcast is also very ADHD in itself. So I feel like it's okay if we don't always talk about ADHD research and facts, because just us living our lives and talking about it is extremely ADHD.
It is.
Yep.
And so we have a Just Segs episode for you today. I'm excited about it.
And let's crack into it.
You want to do This Is Who I Am Now?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. This time it's different. Everything has changed. This is who I am now.
This is who I am now.
I love it.
I like it. Add a little spice to that one.
We're inspired by one of our listeners who we'll talk about later.
Yes. We're going to have a new Hobby Collector song for you today.
Woo, thank you, Jane Olsen.
Yes, thank
really
you, Jane.
Excited.
I'm so excited.
You've inspired us musically to try and do better.
Yeah, we really got to step it up.
Grace.
Yeah.
Who are you now?
I am a person who has old lady taste in furniture and decor. Ian and I went down to the Restore in Kennebunk.
Love the Restore.
Yeah, like a secondhand store.
Yep.
And two different employees there pointed out how many old lady items I was buying. I got like a milk glass lamp, got a sweet chandelier. I have an obsession with like, what would you call those chairs that I have? Like the big kind of velvety, colorful...
Library... They're chairs that you would have if you had a room in your house that you called the study.
Ooh, that's a good description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
velvety.
Upholstered.
They have
lots
the little
of rich colors,
rivets in them.
Yes,
furniture tacks, I guess they're called.
Sure, but I just love them, and multiple like 50-year-old employees there were just impressed with my old lady taste, I guess.
Well,
one guy even wanted to show me a chandelier from the back that he had.
Ooh.
He brought it out to show me because he thought I would like it.
Oh.
So I'm pretty popular down there.
When I think of old lady taste, I think of like florals and a couch wrapped in plastic, because that's exactly what my grandma had.
Yes, I think it's more like the milk glass, I think is pretty old lady-ish, and I think things are just coming back around in style, you know, and it kind of goes with my Victorian Gothic eclectic style.
Yeah.
That's kind of just all over the place.
I'm excited for this decorating journey.
Yeah, so I'm like a Gothic old lady, I guess, and this is who I am now. Kristen, who are you now? Who are you?
I am a lady. Speaking of fanciness.
Yes.
I'm a lady who uses fancy pens.
All right.
Until I lose them. But I even brought one in because I didn't know how to describe it.
I was going to say, fancy pen.
It's a felt tip.
Ooh.
It's got a nice color, which is black ink. I only use black ink, and I have a big issue with people who use blue ink on official documents. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, and it has like, remember the other episode, like 5 episodes back, I was talking about soft plastic.
Yes,
How I'm
soft
obsessed.
plastic.
This is soft plastic. Ready?
Yep.
Feel that plastic.
All right, yeah.
Yes.
I see it.
Soft plastic.
Soft plastic.
It's the most important feature is the softness of the plastic.
Is it? Mine is the flow of the pen.
Well, it's a felt tip, so it's got so much flow.
I don't like a felt tip because I can't write fast enough. I feel like it slows me down too much. I can't flow into all my words. I like a good flow.
I like the felt tip. You know what? The felt tips aren't my favorite. I'm going to link in the show note the link to my favorite pen ever.
Oh, thank God.
Because I know that people are dying to know. But
Yes.
it's nice to, sometimes I like to mix it up, and I like to use a fancy pen with a felt tip.
All right.
Makes me feel important.
All right. You're a fancy, important lady who
until I
has
lose them
fancy
all.
pens.
I bought 3. This is the only one I could find.
Well,
It's been a week.
This is who you are now until you lose the rest of them.
My one remaining pen.
Yes. This is who you are for the next week.
Yep.
Very nice. Let's move into those quirks.
Woo! I'm ready.
Some people call me spacey, some people call me fun, but I'm just quirky. Yeah, it'll do.
All right. Some echoes there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we got it.
All right.
All right, Kristen, why don't you start with your quirks? Tell us about how quirky you are.
Quirk number 1. I do not like chunks in my ice cream because I think the texture distracts from the flavor.
Huh. I'm the opposite. I don't like an unchunked ice cream because it's boring. I get bored. It gets monotonous.
I like small chunks if they're like Oreo because you can break that up. But
you don't want to be like chewing.
I don't want to be. It's supposed to be creamy.
Right.
Why would I want chunks in my creaminess? It's like chunky peanut butter. No, thank you.
Oh, do you like chunky peanut butter?
No, thank you.
So you're probably adamantly against bubblegum ice cream.
That sounds like the worst. That's the same as like gummy bear ice cream because gummy bears freeze.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, just like gnawing on that. Like, I'm glad my jaw's about to rip off.
But then it also gives you something to do, you know? And isn't that fun sometimes?
No, thank you.
All right.
I can no longer wear like regular rise pants, high rise only.
Same.
Like I don't know how people wore any other rise of pants now. Like I don't know. I know I used to wear
low rise was a nightmare.
Yeah. How did we do that?
I don't know. I felt like I was always pulling my pants up constantly.
Right? Your cracks always out.
Yeah.
I just like I don't know.
I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to worry about crack exposure.
Right.
And I don't want to feel like my pants are falling down.
I've even committed and bought like high rise underwear. So now it's like I can't go back now without buying a whole new wardrobe.
Or you have the underwear peeking over the top and kind of like a whale tail, but not sexy
with like
at
bloomers. She wearing bloomers?
Yeah, make it a new trend.
Yeah.
If the Gen Z wants to bring back low rise, we are keeping those high rise granny panties.
Oh boy, what a look. Is that Fruit of the Loom?
You know it is.
And then my last quirk is I recently went on a bit of a road trip. It was about 2.5 weeks ago. And I was like, I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to put all of our like road trip trash in. I brought like a separate little trash bag to put all the road trip trash in. So my car wouldn't have trash everywhere.
Smart.
Forgot about it. It was sitting in the back of my car for 2.5 weeks. There were banana peels in there. That's for sure.
That's a bad one.
And I couldn't figure out. Here's another smell that I couldn't figure out where it's coming
Identify
from.
that smell.
It was the trash, and I just found it yesterday, and I had to throw it out, and it was awful. It smelled like garbage because it was.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
You are so quirky.
So quirky. Just totally forgot about it. Like I made a big deal. I was like, the trash must go in the trash bag. We all anyway. Grace.
Yes.
What are your quirks?
All right. Quirk number 1.
Yeah.
I do not know how to curl my own hair in the mirror. Like literally when I watch myself, because you're supposed to do, especially the front
you're supposed
hair,
to just
you're
away
supposed
from
to
the
do
face.
it in a certain direction.
Away from the face.
I can't do
away.
it. I can't. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, okay, it goes. All right, I want it to curl this direction, so I'll put it around this way. And then I go to do it and it's wrong. I'm like, God damn it. And then I'll go to do it again. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do the opposite of that. And then I do it again and it's somehow still wrong. And I'm like, what is happening? It's like, it truly is like not just a blind spot. It's like wavering on some sort of disability, like my ability to look in the mirror. And I do the same with like, visual spatial reasoning. It probably all ties in. I have a really hard time with visual spatial reasoning, like flipping things around in my brain. If it's like, all right, picture this image, but reverse it. I can't do it. And I think it's the same concept where it's like, I'm watching myself and I can't translate what I'm seeing to like the reverse of what I'm doing. So then I just get all confused. Yeah.
We'll have to do remedial hair curling.
I've been shown plenty of times. Plenty of people have shown me how to do it. What do you use to
curl your hair right now? Do you still do the round curlers?
I was doing those, but now I have a little curler. But I'm not doing anything to my hair because it's too fucking sweaty.
It's so hot.
And it's just, what's the point?
Yep.
But yeah, that's just, I don't know what's going on there, but it's always been a huge weakness of mine. And I just literally, no matter how many times I try, I cannot do it. I can't do it. All right. Quirk number 2. I plan my dog walks out to avoid as many people as possible.
Nice.
I hate making little small talk or even the awkwardness of like, do I have to make eye contact with this person as we're walking like a full street away towards each other? Do you do the little wave? You do the little like white person smile that's really looks very fake because it is like that stupid smile.
Nice day for a walk.
And especially if they have a dog, then it's like, then I'm going to have to manage Lucy. So I'll like walk around the streets and I'll peek down a street before I walk down it. And if there's anyone on it, I'll go to the next one.
We got to get out of here. Go, go, go.
Yeah, to the next one. And that's why I like walking around in the neighborhoods because then I can just kind of follow where the people-less streets take me. And it's a little journey.
What a journey.
I'm so antisocial.
I go where the streets take me.
The streets guide me. All right, and quirk number 3.
Yeah.
Just like you, Kristen, I am an always socks person. Have to have socks on.
Yep.
Hate the feeling of dirt on my feet.
Yeah. As we're sitting here both barefooted.
Yes. But, well, okay. So I hate walking around on the bare floor. I hate getting little like things stuck to my feet. But lately it's been so fucking hot and muggy and sweaty.
You can't.
And it's way too hot to wear even a thin sock, let alone my slippers that I like to wear.
Right.
And I hate being overheated and sweaty. And so I've kind of had to decide, am I sweaty in socks or do I go barefoot? So I'm choosing barefoot, but it's really distressing and I'm upset all the time. And my feet are always covered in little dirts and I'm upset about it and I don't like it. Yes.
Question.
I see your hand is raised.
Have you thought about like house shoes?
Well, so I have my foam shoes that you gave me, but they're just a little too clunky around the house. Like I just don't like my feet being restricted, but I need a thin little layer, maybe even just like something that I could, stick on the bottom of my foot. I don't need the whole thing. I just need the bottoms.
What about those little feet bottoms? They have those. They stick to your foot. Remember when barefoot running was a thing?
Yeah, so I was going to bring up the toe shoes.
Not the toe shoes.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No. There are things you can buy.
Oh.
Hold the music. They're called foot pads. They're little stickers with grippies, and they just stick to the bottom of your feet. And now you have
those look so stupid.
Foot stick. I know they're the stupidest thing, but it would help your problem. I think they're so stupid you have to try them.
All right, I think I might.
I think you're gonna have to buy them, and you're gonna have to get back to us.
Fine, you're right because that might be my only solution.
Yeah, foot stickers.
All right, I guess I'm trying foot stickers. And that's it. That's my quirks. I'm so quirky.
You're so quirky.
So quirky.
Foot stickers.
Foot stickers.
I'm excited for this journey for you.
I'm not excited, but I am ready to get the dirt off my feet. Yeah. So I'll try anything at this point.
I like house shoes. I have my little slides. I bought them for Christopher, and then I was like, no, I like these for me. He is a barefoot person. It drives me nuts.
So is Ian. I hate it.
I'm like, wait, his feet are just out in the world?
And he's always vacuuming.
Yeah.
Because he's walking around barefoot. I'm like, or you could just put shoes on and then you don't have to vacuum as much.
Well, that's what we're like buying a house. So I'm like, with the house, you're going to be in and out. That's a lot of dirt you're tracking in.
Yeah, that's the problem here.
Right.
Is that I can't go barefoot even if I wanted to because it's just so much on the floor.
I was like, why don't we invest in some house shoes? But he doesn't like his feet being restricted. And I was like, okay, well, like we're going to have to find a solution to that.
having sensory needs is really hard. Like, really, I know we joke about it and like, oh, it's so funny. I'm so quirky. I have these sensory needs, but also it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Especially like some of us have to always be wearing socks or shoes and some of us hate wearing socks or shoes. It's like, it's just a lot to have to think about that other people don't, I guess.
I know.
Speaking of that, I saw one TikTok where this girl was in a college class and her professor, I think it was psychology, and he was talking about habituation and how brains, he said it as if all brains do this, but it's not true. Neurotypical brains do this, where they habituate, they get used to a sensory input, and then the brain stops sending that signal to your consciousness so you don't have to continue getting this input. Like, hey, the wind is blowing, the wind is blowing, the wind is blowing. Like, neurotypical brains just block that out. And so this professor was saying, like, yeah, like, good thing our brains do this, because can you imagine, like, always being able to feel your clothes on you or always, you know, being bothered by the light?
This every day.
Yeah, and this girl was like, yeah, that is me. Why are you describing it as, like, everyone's brains do? Can you imagine how annoying it would be? It's like,
so annoying.
It's fucking annoying, isn't it?
It's so fucking annoying.
Yes. Anyways, shall we transition into hobby collectors? Maybe we need a little transition here.
I think we need a little transition.
Also, our goal has been to make our episodes shorter, and you know what I think might help with that is how sweaty it is in this room. Because I'm like, all right, let's get through this.
We're cruising through. We gotta get out of here.
All right. What's the next one? I'm dying.
I'm actually quite cozy. I feel like I'm in like a little cocoon.
I feel like I am in a sweatshirt pocket.
Really? I feel I could like just like make a little nest here.
I could fall asleep, but it would be a sweaty nap.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have a sweaty nap though, because then you know you're warm.
I don't know if I agree on that one.
Just like the right amount, so you're like, because I guess I hate being cold so much.
I like being cold with a blanket on. I like the cold room with a blanket, like a nice cozy blanket.
I hate when you're so cold that you can't concentrate or do
you're
anything.
Like curled up, like you can't move.
Sometimes our AC in our office is like on blast, and I actually ended up going to the gift shop last summer to buy a fleece because I'm like, I can't do anything. It's so cold.
Yeah, I hate being in a place like a workplace, an office, or a hospital when it's too cold, especially when air is blowing in. I hate it. It drives me crazy.
Ooh, yeah. This weekend, I was a diva as we were operating into the night. There are two different types of gowns, like the little paper gowns that you wear. And one is like the regular gown. And then the one is for if it's going to be like, it's like extra protection against blood.
Yes.
And they gave that to me because they thought it was going to be a bloody case. And I was like, oh, this shouldn't take long. I'm not going to say anything because they're trying really hard. And wouldn't you know who had to scrub out to get a different gown because they were too hot and they were uncomfortable and they couldn't take it anymore. And my attending thinks I'm crazy because I was like, I got to scrub out. And she's like, what, are you going to pass out? And I'm like, no, I'm too warm. I'm so warm right now. I can't even look at you right now.
I hate that when it's just like, I can't think about anything else except getting out of my own skin. I am going to explode.
I was like dripping in sweat. And I was like, I thought my one of the big things is you got to make sure your forehead doesn't sweat because you're sweating into the, and I'm like, I am so overheated and I have sensory needs, Patricia.
Right?
I was like, this is a good time for me to I'll be like 2 seconds. I just got to switch gowns. And I did. And I was better.
See, that's why I'm such a severe overpacker whenever I go anywhere, because I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't want to be too hot. I don't want to be too cold. I don't want to have too much wind on me.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
And then I feel like I always am like, but what if we go to an extra fancy dinner place? So I bring like an extra fancy. When am I ever going to an extra fancy dinner place?
I never do that.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Transition into hobby collectors.
Hobby collectors. This is special hobby collectors because this is our debut of one of our fans has written a song for us.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a debut of her song, her work. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's should win a Tony Award. Is that the right one?
No. Tony is musicals, isn't it?
Is this musical?
Yeah, it is a musical. I think it'd be more like a Grammy unless there were like a musical performance element to it. But maybe there is, and we just haven't seen it yet. You know, maybe she's constructed a whole play around it.
Anyway, it's by Jane Olsen. You can find her on SoundCloud because she is a composer. She has a lot of good like piano music. I listen to her stuff. I love it.
Yeah, same. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it. It's hilarious. And Jane, amazing work. Your vocals are hilarious. Love everything about it.
Yep. Good work, Jane.
Yep. And here it is.
Here it is.
We are the collectors. These are our hobbies. We are the collectors, and these are our hobbies. We are the collectors, and these are our hobbies. We are the collectors. Hobby collectors.
Oh, it makes me laugh every time.
Good job, Jane. You like absolutely nailed it.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's weird and
It's
kind of
perfect.
gothic.
It's perfect.
Yes, it's silly. It's perfect. The rushed hobby collectors at the very
Yeah.
end. Hobby collectors.
All right.
Christine, what is our hobby?
A double duty for you today for hobby collectors. We're doing rollerblading and longboarding.
In case you want to be a dork or you want to be cool. And now we're staring at each other awkwardly.
I'm so offended right now.
Good. It was meant to offend you specifically.
You love rollerblading too, so why are you trying to...
It's not that I don't love it. It's dorky. Is it not dorky?
No, it's super cool. The coolest people I know rollerblade.
Who?
Myself.
Yep. Who else?
The guy I met at the park the other day who was in like full gear.
All right. There's another guy.
We did like a hey.
Yeah, I like when you see those like really hardcore rollerbladers.
He had all the pad wear on, and I was like, wow, that's a commitment.
He's ready for a real big tumble down
really
a hill.
ready for a tumble. I feel like when I rollerblade, I'm ready to be injured.
Yeah.
He's ready to not be injured when he tumbles. So good for him.
Yeah, good for him. All right. Sorry I offended you. It's a super cool hobby. So why don't you tell us the history of this really cool, popular sport?
Well, so I got a pop quiz for you. I hope you studied.
I did not.
When do you think, what like time frame, what, not like a specific year, but like, I guess like decade
when rollerblading
was first created, also known as inline skates. We're not talking about roller skates. We're talking about roller blades or inline skates.
All right. Before I answer this quiz question, I have an embarrassing admission.
Yeah.
This is just like one of those weird little things that for some reason my brain never put together.
Yeah.
The word inline skate.
Yes.
I literally up until last year did not realize inline meant all the wheels are in one line. I thought it was like a type of indoor skate. I just thought
inline.
I just never even thought it. I was like, oh yeah, inline. I was picturing like, you know at Happy Wheels when we have the big skate circle.
The roller rink we went to as a child.
Yes, the roller rink. And there's like lines on the floor and some people will do it, like they'll have this whole little like choreographed skate dance that they'll all do together.
With roller skates, you can't do that with blades.
Some people do it with roller blades. But anyways, for some reason, I was just like, inline has to do with like how you skate around the thing. I just, for some reason, never thought of it. It's right there in the word.
It's in the word. They're in a line. They're in a row.
Yes.
Not the roller skates where it's like 2 and 2.
Yes. They're in a line.
Yes,
but
they're in line.
I thought inline skating was a certain type of skating. I didn't realize it was talking about the wheels. Anyways, that's my embarrassing confession.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah, I feel like we should make that into some kind of alternative
Now who's
segment.
a silly goose?
I'm a silly goose. That's a silly little thing.
Yeah.
Back to your question. When were
roller
blades specifically inline, which we all know means the wheels are in a line.
Yep.
Duh.
Yep.
Get it? Catch up, guys. We all know this. I feel like maybe the 60s or 70s?
1700s.
What?
I know! Right? Isn't that crazy? So someone...
I was talking about the 1760s, obviously. That's what I meant. Yeah, the 60s.
As one does.
Obviously, I meant the 1760s.
Yeah, so 70 to 100, some guy was like, I need to move faster, I guess, and took spools of, like the big spools of thread, stuck them somehow to his shoe and made inline skates.
Interesting.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And then
I was not expecting that.
Slowly but surely like modernized it. And then in 1980, these two guys, Scott and Brennan Olson from Minnesota, they took the old version and thought it would be a good design because in Minnesota they do a lot of hockey.
Oh, better pop your tarp off.
Yeah. They were like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could like skate not in winter, and then they made those, and they made like what we now know as the rollerblade.
That's so interesting, because a very similar thing happened with the longboarding history, where it was surfers who were like, wouldn't it be great if we could surf all the time, because we can't surf when the waves are bad, obviously, and that's where longboarding came from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
we learned a thing.
interesting.
But yeah, that's how the modern day roller skate was about. But yeah, 1700s, fun.
Wow.
Yeah, so rollerblades were actually invented way earlier than the roller skate, which was more
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Fun. What do you need to rollerblade? Well, you need blades.
Yep.
Gotta
have those blades.
Yeah, and I would say a nice pair of socks to not get blisters, like not the little thin ones, but something a little bit more substantial.
Yep.
And then you need a helmet. I know, like, I don't wear all the safety gear I should, but I absolutely totally wear a helmet, because head injuries,
they're no joke.
They're no joke. And there's so much more research coming out with like concussions, and especially with like NFL players and head injuries and trauma. And if you've watched or listened to any true crime docuseries, you always know that a lot of these serial killers have some sort of head trauma, and it's devastating. So, not saying that if you get a head injury, you're going to become a serial killer, but
there is a connection there. Just saying.
Head injuries are no joke. They can really be devastating.
We have enough problems with our brains as it is. I'm not trying to add any more trauma.
Right.
And also, what I said to you, I believe, when we first got back into rollerblading was, could you live with the embarrassment of getting a severe brain injury from rollerblading? It's not just like devastating
traumatic
for your life. It's
rollerblading
like
accident.
An embarrassing, it's an embarrassing way to get a TBI.
You can't even be like, oh, like I fell off a horse and I got a head injury, or I was in a skiing accident. I rollerbladed without a helmet and I hit a sand patch and I went over down. A little pebble.
And now I can't go out into sunlight. Yeah. So I agree. Wear a helmet.
Yeah, you need a helmet, and then I would say as much protective gear as you see fit, which should be a substantial amount. I always wear the wrist guards. My hands are my well-being.
Your job.
My job is to have hands, and
it's just good to have hands.
It's good to have
general.
hands. You don't have to have them, but it's nice when
helpful.
You do. But my job in particularly, it's a kind of a requirement to have hands.
Yeah.
So
gotta protect them.
I gotta protect them. So I have the little wrist guards, because I'd be out of work for quite a bit if I like shattered my wrist. And I think my coworker John, who sometimes listens, would come to my bedside and just choke me until I died.
Yeah. Just let you go. Let you slip into the night.
You know.
Do you wear the knee pads?
I should. I can't. You know what? I can't find adult knee pads online.
Oh, I have some.
You have
they're
some?
Pink. Yeah, they're cute.
Oh, they match my skates.
Borrow them. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my elbows are sensitive.
Yeah.
I feel like I hit my elbow, even if I ding it, I'm just like, So if I go down hard on my elbow, it's gonna be all in all a bad time for me. So yeah, I need to up my game. I want knee pads. I want elbow pads, so I can just be like out and about.
Yeah. Not a care in the world.
Yeah. Because you know what? I haven't fallen in a long time, but when I do, I hit hard.
Yeah, there's that one time where you were about to go into the road, and then I think there was a car coming, and so you did like a little circle spin.
And I just...
Remember? You were holding a White Claw too, and you just like tossed it into the air.
Don't drink and bleed.
As you spun in a circle and fell
through that thing. It's not graceful.
But you had your helmet on and your wrist pads, I think.
And my wrist pads, which saved me, because I think I landed right on my wrist pad.
Yes, you did.
But yeah, so I would say as much as possible, but the helmet is a must.
Yes.
And nice socks.
And then coolness factor, throw on a fanny pack, you know?
Ooh, yeah, well, because where are you going to keep your keys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need something.
Right? And maybe a White Claw.
Maybe a joint. Who knows?
Who knows? And that's, you don't need much. Skates are expensive, but you could go to, secondhand stores and, look at Facebook Marketplace. There are places to get like discount roller skates.
I feel like rollerblades are one of those things.
Or blades. Sorry. Oh my God.
God, how dare you?
Ah!
But I feel like they're one of those things that people get and use twice and then never use again. So I feel like you have a pretty good chance of finding a secondhand pair that's not super worn.
I suggest using them more than twice.
Yeah.
They're super fun.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How to get started, I would say the best place to start is on like a flat, well-paved area, and then you just go for it. My theory is if you can ski downhill, you can rollerblade because it's the same motion.
Okay, but here's my question, because I realized immediately once I started rollerblading again that I don't know how to stop. How do you stop? Because skis, you turn sideways.
Yeah. I hit a grass patch. That's how I stopped.
That's my move
and like
too.
the little brake, like
that does nothing.
I feel like the brake, every time I've used the brake, I've like almost fallen. So I might like take that off.
Yeah, I just like to veer onto someone's lawn.
Yeah, I think if you just kind of like go in a circle or hit a grass patch or something like that.
Or you can kind of go like up if there's like a little hill anywhere near you. Kind of like whoop, go up the little hill.
If anybody knows how to stop on rollerblades, write us in at weirdsofeather@gmail.com.
Yes. And I'm not gonna do the sideways like you do with skis, because I feel like that is a high likelihood of just totally tumbling over.
I think it's different on blades.
But I think you can do that, right? You can do the little like sideways stop.
I've never seen someone do it.
Oh, well, let us know
I'm
if you sideways
in like
stop.
the duck waddle phase still.
Yeah, I'm nervous on rollerblades. I don't like having my feet that restricted, I think.
That's how you are in skis, though.
I know, but skis, you got a lot of snow. You can kind of always, like the snow is softer than pavement.
Very true. That's fair.
And your boots come out, your boots will come out of the skis, which I like.
Yeah, if you fall hard enough, they will. Yeah.
Oh, I am falling hard enough that they will.
I think that's all you really need. And I don't think it's really that hard to start. It is hard to stop.
I thought you meant like start with the hobby.
Yeah.
It's easy to start both blading and getting into this hobby.
Right.
Harder to stop.
It's harder to quit.
It's hard to quit. Yeah.
Once you're a blader, you're a blader for life. And then lastly, is this a good hobby for ADHDers? And I would say yeah, because you're outside, it's workout for sure. I went yesterday and my glutes are sore, not just from sitting on the floor. And then, I kind of like the element of danger. Like, am I going to die? I might.
Yeah.
I just might.
You gotta have a little risk.
You just a little risk,
you know,
something to just like, heighten the senses. Is this going to hurt? Is this a big turn?
It could.
Is this too steep of a hill for me?
We'll find out. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. We like that. We like a challenge. ADHDers like a challenge. So I think you're right on that one.
Yeah. Lately, it's been too hot to run. But blading, it's okay because you get the wind.
Yeah, you can really get cruising.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all I have for blading.
All right.
You want to talk about longboarding?
I would love to talk about longboarding. All right. Longboarding is kind of similar in kind of what you need and how to get started and everything. The history of longboarding, according to this, what was I on? Skateboarders HQ. The history of longboarding is complex, and there are many conflicting origins for the sport. The most common narrative is that longboarding was derived from skateboarding, and Hawaiian surfers invented this modified method of surfing on a wheelie longboard. So like I said, they were frustrated that they couldn't always surf if the surf was bad, and they're like, how can we surf on land and kind of get more practice in? And longboarding.
There you go.
All right. So in the early 1950s, surfers had the bright idea of transferring the sport of surfing from the waves to the sidewalk.
From the waves to the streets.
Hell yeah. And skateboarding reached its pinnacle in the late 1950s. Interesting.
Did it?
I don't know about that.
What about X Games?
I would say like the 90s.
Yeah, like the Tony Hawk.
I know. Yeah. I don't know.
When was this article written?
It's on Skateboarders HQ, so take it up with them.
It's Pinnacle.
Pinnacle. Yeah.
Did they not know about the X Games?
Yeah, no one's informed them. All of Skateboarding HQ. All right. What do you need to get started with longboarding? I was really intimidated about trying out skateboarding or longboarding for a long time. A longboard time. I felt like I was...
That's a dumb joke.
But I made it. I felt like maybe I was a little too lame to try out skateboarding, and also my balance isn't great, but it's very good for working on balance, which we've talked about how it can benefit the ADHD brain to do things that work on balance, and they strengthen your cerebellum. So that's why I finally picked it up, because I just decided to go for it finally. So all you need is a longboard. And by the way, and it's kind of like rollerblades versus roller skates. I'm not talking skateboarding. I've never tried a little skateboard. They make me too nervous. I feel like you need way more like technicality and balance and skill. Not that you don't for longboarding, but I don't know. I just feel it feels like the lounge chair of skateboarding, you know? So I'm just talking longboarding. I like how long it is. I like that there's not a ton to it, you know, once you get it. So you just need a longboard. They can be expensive, but...
I think you're skateboarding bias.
Am I? No, I'm not biased. I think it's harder to skateboard than to longboard. It just seems that I feel like you go faster probably. It's so much littler.
It is little.
I feel like you have less room for mistakes. That's why I like the longboard.
I also feel like, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not against skateboards. It's that I don't think I have the skills to skateboard. Longboarding is a different story. You need some skill to longboard, but yeah, I don't know. I feel less nervous when I have kind of more room, you know? It's almost like a boat. It goes kind of nice and slow. So yeah, you need a longboard. They can be expensive. You can get them at like Play It Again Sports though, and you really just need like a basic starter board. I like the ones that have like the wheel bearings like set into the longboard. So essentially like you're not propped up super high on the wheels themselves. It's like the fixtures that they put the wheels into the board kind of set into it. So you're just much like lower to the ground, which I like. I don't really know how to properly describe that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll post a picture of it.
Okay.
There's 2 different styles and I like the one that is lower to the ground. It's easier.
Okay.
Obviously. Yeah. Less wobbly. And then you just need some skate shoes. You do want to, you know, spend a bit of money getting some good skate shoes because you need the structure and the stability and
like Vans.
Yes. So Vans makes obviously like specifically skateboarding shoes that you can get.
You think the toe shoes would work with the skateboard?
Actually, they might because
I feel like that's how you stub your toe, through the toe shoe.
Yeah. Well, you need like a thick rubber on that toe shoe. Yeah. And I do a lot of like jumping off my longboard and like running alongside it if I feel like I'm going too fast on a hill. So you also want to have shoes that allow you to do that.
What qualifies as a skateboard shoe? Like, do you need a good tread on it?
Yeah, you need a good grip and you need some flexibility because you have to be able to kind of like bend your feet with it.
Okay.
So as you're kind of, you know, turning that one way or the other, you need to kind of be able to bend on the skateboard a bit, longboard.
Here's my question. What foot do you steer with? You know how with like snowboarding, you're like either...
Well, there's like regular and then goofy.
Yeah. I still don't know which one's which.
I'm left-handed, but I think I'm left-handed / left-footed. But I think I do it the regular way, I guess, where I have my left foot forward and then I'm kicking with my right foot. But I think that's like the regular way to do it. And I think the other way is goofy, maybe.
I think I'm goofy.
Sure.
I know I'm goofy when I snowboard.
Oh, I don't snowboard. So I don't know what I am, but I think I have my left foot in the front. Now that I'm talking about it, I don't really remember, but that sounds right. Yeah, so you just need the longboard. You need the shoes, helmet.
Some socks.
Yeah,
you don't want to get blisters.
Socks. Yeah, get some good socks, especially because some skate shoes can be really stiff at first. Break those in. Get some good socks. Maybe some cool socks, you know, some nice, cool high socks.
With
those are always fun.
Yeah, a cool pattern on them.
Yeah. Wear a helmet. Because just like rollerblading, it's really easy to fall and crack your skull open. And you don't want to have to worry about that. You know, we like danger, but we don't like...
Not too much danger.
Yeah, not too much danger. That's like...
I like danger. I don't like injuries.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I want to feel like maybe I could get some cuts and scrapes, but I don't want to feel like I'm on the verge of a concussion.
Right.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do you need? You could have the wrist pads and elbow pads and knee pads if you want. I usually just... When I started, I think I wore the wrist pads because I was really nervous about falling. I'm still nervous about falling. I don't like to take a big hill. But I will wear the helmet, and you can wear all that extra stuff when you start. And if you feel like you want to keep wearing it, then do it. Other than that, that's really all you need.
Also, I just want to say for our American listeners out there, emergency bills are expensive.
Yes.
You know what's not as expensive as an emergency bill? Elbow pads.
And a helmet.
Knee pads.
You're
helmet.
Right.
Wrist guards.
And if you live in a country with universal health care, get those TBIs, baby. Rack them up. It's free.
Rack them up.
Yeah. Get those scrapes and bruises.
Yeah. Your tax dollars pay for that health care. You better use it.
Yeah. Live it up for us, you know, in honor of those who cannot. Yep. So that's all you need. And I was going to say, that's another reason why I think rollerblading and longboarding are good for ADHDers because you don't need to buy, you know, a ton of stuff, a ton of gear.
Right. And you don't need like... You know, with skiing, you have to like go to a place.
Yes.
You know, I know for where I am for rollerblading, I can't rollerblade in Lewiston. It's hilly.
Yeah.
There's we live in a not so great area. There's a lot of fast cars that drive by. It's just like genuinely unsafe for pedestrians. But where you live, Grace, perfect for rollerblading.
Yeah, we have the cemetery. So we have all those open roads, which is great for rollerblading and
then
longboarding.
You just live in like a quieter neighborhood in it. Anyway.
Yes, and that is nice. And yeah, you want some flat places. Don't go down big hills. I'm bad at like slowing down. I just like start picking up speed. And I'm like, whoa,
just
going way too fast.
We're committed now.
You're supposed to like wind back and forth.
Right.
And I'm working on that. It's kind of hard to get the turns, but I've got it. But even then, I get nervous and I bail. But I just kind of do the thing where I jump off and I run alongside it and then I catch it with my foot. And I've gotten pretty good at that.
There you go.
If you're nervous about it, just practice bailing out and get really good at that. And then you'll be less nervous.
There you go.
It's good to have an escape plan. And is this a good hobby for ADHDers?
That's
yes,
the question.
Absolutely. I think it is. It's, there's a bit of some learning involved. So you're learning some new skills without having to learn like so much that's going to get overwhelming. You really just need to like master the basics of, how to kind of turn, how to go side to side, how to balance, how to bail out. But other than that, yeah, you can kind of just like get going and start longboarding kind of right away, once you practice a little bit like that. So I think that's good that you can kind of pick it up semi-easily. Like I said, it's good for balance, good for your cerebellum. It's good for traveling. You just hop on your longboard and then you just, then you're there. And isn't that nice? And then you don't have to walk. And just like rollerblading, there's that small element of danger.
That's the best part.
Yep. Like a little danger.
Gotta live a little bit.
Overall, yeah, I think it's a good hobby. I feel like you don't really get sick of it. Maybe you go through phases of like doing it more and doing it less.
Yeah,
but
I know I do with rollerblading.
Yeah, it's kind of like going out for a walk after a while, but more exciting, where it's just like, yeah, you can kind of just do this whenever, and it's a fun little workout without being like super intensive.
Yeah.
And that is it.
That's it.
And those are our hobbies that we have collected. And
hobby collectors.
Hobby collectors.
All right. Those are great hobbies. Should we get started on alternative segment?
Alternative! Yeah, let's mosey on into alternative segments. And
this is an alternative segment that's near and dear to my heart. It's called Things That Make Us Irrationally Angry.
All right, I have one. It's the way you just said that. I don't like it. I'm angry. I'm irrationally angry. I'm all worked up for the segment.
Okay. All right. So this alternative segment, our segment that we have decided to do, is things that make us irrationally angry. And for me, this was hard to narrow down.
Yep.
But there's one winner.
She's been ranting about this forever.
So
I guess
I'm
it's
still
time for you guys to hear about it.
I'm irrationally angry about the layout of my parents' house because it doesn't make sense.
She talks about it as if they're forcing this house upon her that
not.
She now has to renovate into how she wants it.
I only seek to understand the architect who decided that this was an okay thing.
It's like a cul-de-sac, so I feel like there's no understanding it.
So they live in a lovely neighborhood, a little cul-de-sac. They like moved in during like the housing crisis, so they got a good deal.
The first one,
the first one, the 2008,
not the current one,
not the current one. Where houses were like really, really cheap, and they got this house. It was like a great for them. It had everything they wanted, but there was like some quirks. And let me tell you about these fucking quirks. The outside of the house is great. It's got this big wraparound porch. It looks great. The aesthetic, the gardening, blah, 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 blah. You walk in, the first thing you do when you walk in through the front door, there's immediately a staircase in front of your face. And so much so that there's about 1 millimeter of room for the door to swing open fully. And when you swing the door open fully, you totally close off the living room. So you're shuffled into this weird, like ambiguous, thank you, area of like, there's you could go into this tiny hallway that leads further into the kitchen. You can take your clothes off. Take your
clothes off.
No, your coat's off. There's a coat closet there, so usually everybody takes their coats off and we put them in the closet. And there's also a weird office, which I think they just need to get rid of, except now my dad's working at home, so he needs the office anyway. So then you're like shuffled into the kitchen, and then the kitchen's really weird too because they have like this big island, and then right in the middle of the island is their glass stove top. So like you can't even like prep at the island because it's a glass stove top there. So you cook all at the stove top, but there's no fan to shunt out any of the hot air and the steam and the stuff from cooking on the stovetop. So it just sits in the kitchen and everything gets foggy and smoky. And you're like, why is it foggy and smoky? Oh, because there's no fan. There's no ventilation. Who did that? At least put some sort of ventilation system into this brand new kitchen that you made. It just like doesn't even make sense. And it drives me insane. And then we go upstairs.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
And we go upstairs. You go up the stairs and it's just this like, you go upstairs, it's like immediately bathroom. And then off to the side is like the master with that bathroom. So that's fine. But then to get to the next bedroom, you have to like go through this dark tunnel with no windows to like the rest of the house. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. And then in my mind, I'm like, maybe if like, we moved the staircase, but then if you move the staircase,
you're not living there.
I know, but I'm just like, it bothers me so much. I have to like, I go to bed thinking about how I would fix this house, but there's no way to fix it because anytime you move something, you're creating another problem, right? So if you move the staircase, one, you're going to have to move it into the office so the office is gone. And then two, you've just eliminated another bedroom because you're going to have to, where the staircase goes up is going to have to go into the bedroom. So where do you put that bedroom? Do you put it off to the side? Is that going to look weird? Is it going to be big enough?
Well, thank God you don't have to do this and you don't have to move into the house.
I think
these are all theoretical.
It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like every time I try to like fix one thing, I'm going to create another problem. So maybe I'm like, maybe we move the door, but then it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing from the outside. And then you lose like half the appeal of the house. Like the best part of it is how it looks from the outside, right? So then if you move the door, it's not centered and it doesn't look correct. So
do your parents have these same concerns?
No.
Or is this literally just you getting upset
just me.
About a house that you
I'm
don't
very
have to
much
live
upset
in?
About it.
I know. Almost irrationally angry, one
I'm
might
irrationally angry about it. I know no one else is as upset as I am.
No one's upset at all.
I just want to make like who designed that house? Who said, hey, this is a great idea. Let's have no ventilation in the fucking kitchen where they cook and do all of their cooking and have all Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas. No ventilation.
All right.
Okay, Grace.
That was quite the rant.
What makes
I'm
you
glad you got it out of your system.
It's still there.
I don't want it there. Get it out because I don't need to
it
keep
will never
hearing
leave me. I will always be angry.
about how you would mentally redesign your parents' staircase. All right, I'm going on to mine.
Yeah.
Moving on to mine.
Let's go.
All right, I don't want to alienate all our new UK listeners. I'm
Sounds like you're about to.
I am. So, guys, just a warning.
It's
This
irrationally angry.
This is
irrationally angry.
Yes. This is not a valid complaint. This is just me being triggered by something for no reason. So please just keep that in mind. You guys are lovely. Thank you for listening. You're not doing anything wrong. If you use these words, just continue. Just don't say them to me. All right. A thing that makes me irrationally angry is when British people, especially like the posh British accent, when people use like cutesy or unnecessary abbreviations. Something about it bothers me so much. I don't know why. But for example, this morning I was watching a British design show. It was Interior Design Masters on Netflix. And someone abbreviated the word Scandinavian to Scandi.
I think
which,
it's
like,
cute.
What the fuck? Scandi?
I would do
Shut
Scandinaves.
the fuck up. I hate it.
I would do Scandinaves, I think is great.
I think Scandinaves is funny. I would like if they said this room has a feeling of Scandinaves. I would like that. I think it's funny. But to call it Scandi,
I think when you say it with your excuse me, your big dumb American accent, Scandi,
but
it
even
sounds terrible.
Scandi. It sounds stupid.
I think it sounds cute.
I think it sounds stupid.
I respectfully disagree.
Well, you're not the one who's irrationally angry about this. I am. I hate it. It triggers something deep inside me.
What's the other one that you had?
Another one that they were saying, I have so many examples, but two that just popped into my brain because I was watching this show, is the word lino, turning the word linoleum into lino. I hate it.
That one I'm going to agree with you because
Right?
I feel like
Lino
Lino could be so many, like, is that someone's name?
That's what I'm saying. I think
Right?
sometimes the abbreviations that British people and
What
Australian
about-
people, I'm calling you out, I think they're too short. I
Right.
think they abbreviate things to the point where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that original word was even supposed to be.
Mhm. It's unclear.
Yes.
Scandinavian should be Scandinaves.
Not
Listen up.
Scandi.
Listen up, UK.
Yep.
Not trying to tell you how to speak, but
And
here,
linoleum
I am
should just
telling
be
you how to speak.
linoleum.
Linoleum should be linoles.
Yeah, linoles.
No one's going to confuse that for a child's name.
But I hate lino.
Lino is like someone who lives in like Coolidge Corner in Boston is going to name their kid Lino. Right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right.
Lino.
Or like,
Oh, Lino.
or Newton.
Yes. I agree.
Or Brookline. Brookline, that's it.
Yeah, that's a Brookline
That's a
name.
Brookline name.
Lino.
Lino.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to offend.
Lino has food allergies.
Lino cannot eat dairy. He gets a bellyache. I said I didn't want to offend you, and then now we're mocking you guys. So whatever, though. You know the deal. We're just joshing. We say dumb things here all the time. So, I'm not being a hypocrite.
The
I know
big
we
thing
have
is irrational.
Yes, and that's the thing. It's an irrational anger. And even like Australia, I feel like theirs are just kind of funny because their accents are kind of just more goobery. Sorry,
Yeah.
Australia, you got goobery accents. So like Arvo, calling afternoon Arvo, while
Wait,
that one
what?
may be way too short and people might not know what that means.
The afternoon is Arvo?
Arvo.
That's another child's
That's
name
Arvo.
from Brookline.
Yeah, Arvo, absolutely.
Arvo and Lionel are
Arvo
best of
and Lino.
pals.
They're twins. Arvo and Lino. But I don't know, something about that posh British accent, when they say the word Scandi, I'm just like, stop it!
Also, this is coming from like two like big dumb Americans
Yes.
with like New England accents
Who say the dumbest words and
Yeah.
abbreviations and terms all the
Right.
time.
So
Yeah.
this is based off of nothing. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm glad you could get that off your chest.
Yeah, thank you. It's really been weighing heavily on
I'm
me.
excited to hear about the adventures of Lino and Arvo.
Yeah, should we write that into a story?
I would love to hear that.
All right.
Maybe some Patreon content.
Ooh, oh yeah. And if you guys want to write in a story about Arvo and Lino living in Brookline, Massachusetts,
Their adventures in
taking the T to their charter school.
right.
By the way, Brookline is like the neighborhood next to Boston, where it's kind of like a richer area.
It's a richer. Well, there's many rich areas in Boston,
Yes.
but it's one of
Brookline, yeah.
Brookline is one of them.
All right, and that's it. Let's fly through our pizza secrets. 'Cause
Yeah.
I said the heat would keep this short, but it hasn't.
It hasn't. I'm actually
Just-
once again super cozy.
It's just kept me agitated.
Yeah. Keep that heat.
Keep that heat.
Ready for pizza secrets.
Also, a quick side note, I have read that being on stimulant medication makes you more sensitive to heat. So I think that's
Oh.
maybe part of why I get so overheated, on top of me just being a sweaty boy, is that I think the stimulant medication makes it even worse. So isn't that a fun fact?
That's why I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sweaty.
Yeah, you're sweaty on your own. All right, let's do that. Pizza secrets.
Pizza
song.
secrets.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Pizza secrets.
Pizza secrets.
All right, you want to go first? You want me to go first? You want me to go?
Why don't you go first?
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
My pizza secret is called Paul versus Peter.
All right. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I'm in the process of buying a house. I'm panicked,
Yes, you are.
but I have a lovely team of people. My realtor is really nice. The mortgage guy is really nice. The homeowner insurance guy is really nice. Everybody's very nice to me, which is great. Works in my favor.
Yeah, that's always nice.
I also tell everybody, I go, explain this to me as you would a child. And they do, which is great
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about buying a home.
Same.
There's a lot of steps. The guy from the mortgage company, his name is Paul.
Yes.
The guy from the homeowner's insurance company, which you need to have a house. Also, it's just genuinely a good idea.
Yeah.
His name is Peter. And although one is listed as Paul in my phone and Peter is my phone, and we've been talking, in my mind, They are both named Paul.
Well, I was going to say, you have told us explicitly on this podcast that there are a bunch of men named Paul involved in this process.
Turns out that's not true.
You just made that up.
I just made it up in my head, and
I was going to say, I feel like you've talked about the Pauls on this podcast
the Pauls,
before.
And I was like, isn't this easy? Everybody's name's Paul. I don't have to remember a different name. Well, turns out they have different names. I didn't know this, even though it's in my phone as Peter. And
you pulled the whole, I got the gist of it.
I got the gist of it, and I don't.
You saw the P, and you're like,
and I read back. So once I realized this, because what happened, and I was like, hey, Paul, blah, 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 a bunch of stuff about homeowners insurance, and he replies, hey, it's Peter. And I was like, isn't that weird that he keeps saying, like, his name? Like,
he doesn't know his own name.
I know, I like, kept reading it as Paul, like, as if, even though he said, hey, it's actually Peter. And I was like, yeah, I know
Paul.
that. Of course, I know it's Paul. Like, I'm like, maybe he's just like doing a friendly reminder. And then it hit me, and I was like, oh my God, I've been calling this guy Paul. We've been on the phone talking, and I've called him Paul. I look back through my text messages, and there've been multiple instances where I have called Peter Paul, and he's always been like, hey, it's actually Peter. And
yeah, Paul, I know.
Yeah, I just like never. We've been talking for weeks. He spent 2 hours on the phone one time on like a Sunday trying to like talk to me, and I still call him Paul, and I feel so terrible. But how do I say,
hey, I'm dyslexic. I read your name as Paul.
I read that totally wrong. I can't read, but please give me homeowners insurance. Like, I'm embarrassed now. They know I work in healthcare, and like I have like multiple degrees, and they're like, I don't think she can read.
At what point does he stop correcting you?
Does he stop her? And he keeps correcting me.
God.
He's talked to me about his like newborn child and like all these things. We share,
how's baby Paul doing?
Baby Paul, just like Paul Jr.
Do you name him after you?
So bad. It was for the entire time we've been trying to buy, like this entire closing process. I have called him Paul every single time, and I always go, "Hey, Paul," and he goes, "Hey, it's Peter." Multiple times, I can't. It's just like, you piece of shit, Kristen.
He's probably so confused.
He's so confused because he also knows Paul, the mortgage guy, and he keeps thinking. What happens is he thinks that I'm talking to Paul from the mortgage company, and so he keeps correcting me. But then I keep going on and on and on about insurance stuff. So this is why he keeps calling me, because he probably doesn't. I think
he's probably so confused.
He's like, this girl must be just dumb. And I am.
In some ways,
I'm like,
you got your areas.
Like, how do I even say, hey, I'm sorry? In my mind,
I saw the letter P, and I just ran with it.
I can't even explain. And maybe he'll even, because I sent him the link for the podcast, because I don't know if he was interested or just being a nice person.
Probably just being nice.
Can't tell. And he was like, oh.
Maybe he's just trying to get more backstory on you. Like, what is going on here?
I don't understand this. But Peter, if you're listening to this, I knew you were Peter.
No, she didn't.
My head and my mouth and my thumbs said different things.
Said Paul.
Like, I knew you were a separate entity from other Paul, but you were both labeled Paul to me, and I know that's wrong. And I feel bad, and I'm sorry I kept calling you Paul. I know you're Peter, at least now. It's my pizza secret. I feel really bad about it.
Sorry,
usually
Paul.
I feel better after I say these. Now I just feel even worse.
Well, I think you have to make amends with Peter/Paul.
I don't know what to do. What do I do?
Maybe just have a good giggle over it.
I'll make him a plaque that says Peter/Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Or just gaslight him into believing his name has always been Paul.
Ooh, Paul, you have always been Paul.
You've always been Paul. You will always be Paul.
Since when were you Peter?
Peter has never existed.
It's always been Paul. No, basically, I'm a piece of shit who can't learn names.
You're not a piece of shit. You just may be dyslexic.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, you kind of just look at the word and you're like, I got the gist of it.
I do my best guess.
Yeah, best guess. And just tell him you were doing your best guess at his name over and over and over.
Very simple name.
Yes.
That even first graders know how to read.
Happens to the best of us.
Yep.
It's all right.
Anyway, what's your pizza
All right.
secret? I'm done talking about mine. I feel guilty.
Okay.
I'm upset.
Mine I probably should feel guilty about, but I don't.
Oh,
Mine's called World's Greatest Super Nanny.
I'm guessing that's you.
Yep, that's me, guys. I don't know if you know, but I was an awesome nanny. I nannied and babysat for a lot of years for a bunch of different families. And actually, the one that I'm talking about lived in Brookline.
Oh.
Because I lived in Brookline for a year. That's another thing that you followed me on. I lived in this apartment, and then you moved into my room.
That's because we
when I
knew
moved
the
out.
same girl who was renting out the room.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I've just been
moved into my room.
following you around the country.
That's all right. I like
I'm
it.
all right with it.
All right. So I was nannying for this family. They had 3 kids. They were probably like 6, 8, and 10. Not probably. They were 6, 8, and 10. And it was my second day of nannying for them of all time. I think the dad was like in IT. Their parents were very impressive. They were Korean. And the parents both had like, they're very friendly and nice, but they had these like really impressive jobs. They're just like, I was just a little intimidated because I'm a sloppy person and I make a lot of mistakes. And so I was just like kind of very worried about doing a good job. And, there was a lot of tasks I had to do. I had to take after school every day. I would have, or almost every day, I would have to take the kids to Taekwondo lessons.
Whoa.
Which was like, with the Boston traffic, it was like a 45-minute drive through Brookline and out to wherever. Yeah. So it was a lot of Boston driving.
They didn't go on the T?
No. They're 6, 8, and 10.
Those are plenty. You see plenty of kids on the T.
No, and it was also like out where you had to drive a car. You couldn't take the T there.
Into the suburbs.
Yes, into the suburbs. So it was my very first day of driving them to Taekwondo, and of course we were running late because I was always running late.
Yep.
There's another time where I left them waiting at school for me to pick them up, and I was really late to that. That's happened a few different times. I'll save that one. But I was running really late, and so I was kind of rushing. It was my very first day of bringing them to practice, so I was just like, get it together. And it was a yellow light. I just want to reiterate, it was a yellow light that I was coming up upon it. Yeah, and it was yellow. It was still yellow as I was going through it. It was busy rush hour traffic. Go through the light. Immediately, there's a cop there. Immediately get pulled over. My fucking second day of nannying these kids. They're all in the car. And they're not babies, so they're like old enough to tell their parents what happened.
And they're like,
yeah.
Oh my God, are we going to jail?
Yeah. And so they were like kind of upset in the back seat, like just what's happening? What's going on? I'm like, oh, nothing. Just give me a second. Mm-hmm. And the cop was like, oh, you just read a ran light, blah, blah, blah. And
Did you say it was yellow, bitch?
Yeah.
And just hit the gas?
I should have, but no, it was yellow. And I told him that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. It was yellow when I was going through it. And I kind of, pulled the whole, it's my second day of nannying. I didn't pull it. It was my second day of nannying. I'm like, I'm just trying to get these kids to practice. I'm so sorry.
Need to go to Taekwondo.
Please, I cannot have a ticket on their car that I'm driving on my fucking second day of nannying. So because our quote unquote justice system and the police in general are really unfair and biased and racist, I was like a little white woman with a sob story, and they let me go, and they gave me a warning, and they didn't give me a ticket.
Nice.
And so that was nice for me, but also that's a really unfair system, and
that is super unfair.
Yeah. But
that being said,
it came in handy in that moment.
It really did,
because God, that could have been so bad. So I didn't get the ticket, but I still did get pulled over with all the kids in the car on my second day. But
oh my God,
that was the only time I ever got pulled over working for them, at least.
Yeah.
I've gotten pulled over different times.
Yeah.
And I've made lots of mistakes with that family also. But yeah, I never got a ticket. And isn't that just great?
I got pulled over on graduation day in my cap and gown, running late for graduation.
Nice. And
the guy goes, "Are you trying to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to graduate, man.
Yeah,
I gotta walk." He's like, "You're speeding." I go, "Yes, because I'm gonna be late.
I have a graduation."
I like have my cap on.
Yep.
Oh man. To be honest, if I were you in that situation, I would have cried with the kids in the car.
Yeah, I don't think I cried, but I was very sad.
I would have been so stressed. The officer would have been like, "Ma'am, is there a problem?" And I would have just been like, "Yes, there is."
Yeah, because I was already so stressed about making the kids late for their first practice. And then that happened.
Oh my God, I would have died.
All right, anyways, Pizza Secret! We gotta end this because
we gotta end it.
It's too long. It's always too long.
All right. All right. That's been our show. Thank you for listening. Thanks to all of our new listeners.
Yes, thanks for joining us on this journey.
Once again, this is just Segs. And then next week we'll have like the regular format again and hopefully come back at you with some hard-hitting ADHD knowledge.
Well, you say the regular format, but this is a regular format for our episodes. Just Segs is a whole episode
I guess
now.
so.
We've changed the format.
We'll get you ADHD content eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing we're missing is the ADHD content, but that will hopefully come next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you guys can understand that we are real busy with moving and packing, and we got a lot going on, but we still want to bring you all your favorite content. So we're here, sweaty in the closet, on the floor.
Podlaugh 2.0.
Yes.
It is stifling.
Right? Thank you. Let's get out of here.
Now,
you know where to find us. Email us at weirdsofafeather@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Weirds of a Feather.
We're in a Facebook group.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have a Facebook group.
Yeah, follow us on that. We post sometimes, and I like to hear from you.
Yeah, so join us wherever. We're kind of on TikTok at Weirds of a Feather. You can DM us. You can email us. Share your pizza secrets.
We're
and
most
your quirks.
active on Instagram at Weirds of a Feather. We do polls with every episode except for the bagel bites, and then we post the results after. I'm asking because one of our biggest fans, Judy, shout out to Judy, always misses the polls, and that's okay. Judy. It's okay.
It's okay. We're very inconsistent with when they even pop up.
Yep.
So how could you know?
How could you know? It's pure luck.
Yeah. Gotta hit it just right. Sometimes I miss it. Like, damn it. I wanted to participate.
Right. But we post the results after, and then you can comment below if you wanted to add your piece. And it's okay that you miss it because we also miss it.
Yes.
I post them and I forget to answer them.
And we want your comments, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you missed the polls, just give us your responses in the comments.
You can like and subscribe. You can leave a review, 5 stars only. Yep. And I think that's it. That's it.
Let's get out of this sweaty box.
All right. You want to squawk us out?
Yeah, let's do it.
right.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye. I always go before you.
Go for it. Seagull. Oh,
this is a sad bird.
Oh, sad bird. Okay.
Sad but surprised. Surprised at how sad he is.
We like it. No, I can't whistle.
Oh.
I always try that.
Oh, I can whistle. Wait.
Oh, that was a good one. I don't know.